The exclusive program offered by Audi is much like Bentley's Mulliner division, Ferrari Atelier, or Mercedes Designo, and is the remnants of the era of coach building, where clients purchase only the base of a model off the shelf and the rest of the car from the body to the interior was to be commissioned by craftsmen. In the present, upwards of 70 million cars are produced each year, and only a microscopic fraction will be personalized in the way Audi Exclusive makes possible. In fact, to date, Rolls-Royce is the only manufacturer currently in mass production that does not have a standard spec you can buy. Every car must be fully specified by the client. And where this sort of personalization is not possible with most manufacturers, the Audi Exclusive program gives owners the opportunity to truly personalize their car.
Hello, I'd like to talk about a topic that I enjoy very much, and that is the Audi Exclusive program. There's just so much information that I'll probably break this up into 2 or more videos. This will be informative, but also a bit of a commentary. I'm going to go over what the Audi Exclusive program is, where it started, and what it offers. If you like exclusivity, over-the-top luxury and opulence, as well as build spec sheets, then this video should have you drooling. The context of this video is going to be from the perspective of the D4 A8 W12, which ran from 2012 to 2016 in North America and represented the peak of the Audi Exclusive offerings as it relates to North America. But first, here's some history on the program. Audi Exclusive was born in 1995 as part of an offering of customization through Quattro GmbH, which is a wholly owned subsidiary of Audi that from 1996, when it first registered as its own vehicle manufacturer, until recently handled all of Audi's RS models. It's headquartered in Eckersholm with its own manufacturing plant where each RS model was hand-built, receiving a special VIN, and all Audi Exclusive customization happened. Back in the day when a car was spec'd with an Audi Exclusive option, the car was fully built to standard specification by Audi and then sent complete to Quattro for customization. Unfortunately, these days, like everything RS, Audi Exclusive and Quattro GmbH are watered down. Quattro is now Audi Sport GmbH. Most RS models are manufactured alongside the base models, and the Audi Exclusive options list has shrunken meaningfully. To help raise awareness of the program, Audi has offered some Audi Exclusive trim packages to a handful of models in North America. Among those were the final year of the D2 S8, which came with a trio of interior and exterior color combinations. They were limited to 100 each of the following 3: Brilliant Black with Cognac leather, Ava Silver with Oxblood leather, and Ming Blue with Platinum leather. A sample series of interior packages available with the facelift D3 A8, including Sand Beige, Classic Red, Cognac, and Alabaster, which included wood inlay combinations. The final year of the D3 A8 to commemorate 100 years of Audi in 2010, and more recently the 2014 Audi S6 Exclusive Edition 1 in Havana Brown with contrast stitching. These packages honestly did little to raise awareness. Unlike in Germany, where clients can step into one of 2 Audi Exclusive showrooms, marketing has been very weak for the program in North America. Most may be aware that an Audi can be ordered with an off-menu paint color, an option that only a few years ago used to be fairly affordable at around $2,000 with an unlimited number of allocations, and now is wildly priced at nearly $8,000. And is limited to a pre-approved list of colors with allocations quickly running out each year. But as far as the W12 is concerned, paint finish is merely the beginning. At the time of the D4, Audi allowed not only a pre-approved list of several dozen colors, but also a custom color for nearly any other paint code. Now moving into the realm of the lesser known. To round off the exterior customizing, a selection of special order Audi Exclusive wheels were available, largely semi or fully polished. Moving inside, the bulk of customization is the leather. In the W12, there is a lot of it. And to make this easier, I've made these diagrams that highlight the various areas of customization. The exclusive interior leathers begin with 4 tiered packages. Package 1 includes the seats, center armrests, and door card inserts. Each package is available with or without Alcantara inserts in the seats, and either leather or Alcantara for the door card inserts. The headrest shells and lower seat trim is color coordinated but remains plastic. Then package 2 adds the center console and door armrests. Package 3 adds additionally lower door cards and pocket linings and lower dash. And package 4 adds the top of the door cards, the top of the dash, and the airbag cover, and then the headrest shells and seat bottoms become leather. Now on top of the leather panels, there are many opportunities for contrast stitching. Then we have contrast piping and center seat section. And then finally, diamond stitching. Diamond stitch seats also do not have the piping along the center seam. Next, we have Audi exclusive floor mats, which have leather piping that can be spec'd in contrast or tone on tone. Then exclusive colored carpet, and then now the headliner with several options of Alcantara colors. And then the rear shelf also in Alcantara. With the exclusive package 4, the remaining interior plastics from the steering wheel hood, the lower A, B, and C pillars, as well as much of the switchgear can be selected in tone-on-tone colors to match the Audi exclusive palette. A standard base interior color has to be chosen to determine the color of any item that is not customized. Basically every build I've seen has black as a base color. The few that have used beige, either silk beige or the other beige, I can't remember off the top of my head, looks really odd. I'll show you some examples of that though. And then finally, the seat belts can also be customized. Here's a breakdown of all the exclusive colors available for the W12. The leather is available in both Valcona and fine Napa, and a handful of colors are not available for the dashboard and the upper door cards. 2 of the colors, sand beige and crimson red, are replaced with similar colors for Alcantara. The inlays are also customizable from selecting one of the exclusive veneers for the upper inlays, but also extending the wood throughout the cabin to the steering wheel, which I had once thought was ugly when I first saw it, but it's since really grown on me, and I find it to be pretty unique. I don't know of any other manufacturer that's doing segmented wood in this way. The shifter, which looks very much at home as opposed to the somewhat random patch of leather. And finally, the roof grab handles, which is standard on the W12 in North America for the standard veneers. Of course, not the exclusive veneers. An area that I've questioned to this day is the lower B pillar. There's literature from a European model, I believe it was a German brochure, that mentioned leather package 4 included the lower B pillar wrapped in leather, but I've never seen a leather wrapped lower B pillar except for the case of the security version of the W12. As you can see from this picture here, there's stitching that runs vertically and also a slightly mismatched edge to the sill that shows that is indeed leather wrap. I believe this was never actually a factory offering and perhaps something that was planned and then dropped for the non-armored A8. But for some reason, there is some kind of modification there that required it to be wrapped. I'll do a video on the security version at some point. There's a lot of small interior trim changes that are interesting, stuff that you don't really notice at first, but the further you look and investigate, the more oddities you find in the interior. And obviously they're very cool. They have stuff like built-in fire extinguishers and lights and sirens and all the bulletproofing and stuff. But anyway, another video. Moving on. At this point, I'm going to share some examples of exclusive interiors that I've gathered over the years. Sadly, the majority of all these images are dreadful quality, so I apologize for that. However, they'll surely give you a sense of what was possible and the lengths to which color and material can be customized. Some of them are highly questionable, but some are really stylish. These are semi-organized, but not that organized, so bear with me. We're going to start with this example built by Audi themselves for the Audi exclusive showroom. It's a great example of different locations where you can have a color split. We have different color on the headliner and the pillars, the armrest on the door, the airbag cover has an interesting color split, the instrument cluster hood, and center console plus the seats. Here's a nice little detail of the contrast stitching along with that color split. And then if we move to the back, we see we have Audi exclusive carpet and seat belts as well. The color split on the seats is interesting. We have just the front of the headrests, the front of the seats plus one of the sections of the bolster. And then the seat backs and outer edges are a darker color. I believe this to be saddle with magnolia. This next example was used for several press releases for Audi. I love night blue on the D4 and it pairs really well with alabaster. We have night blue piping and center section and then alabaster contrast stitching in several locations. Looks really good on the 3-spoke airbag and the piping on the floor mats. Here's some photos from the press release. That Tamo ash wood really looks beautiful and I love the way that this interior looks.
Next, we have another build by Audi, and it's a great showcase of using more than 2 colors for an interior. You'll also see it has an exclusive paint color that's Ipanema brown. I don't really care for it. People go nuts. I don't get it. The headliner and the door card looks like it's a kind of a light blue, but it's actually jet gray. I think that fluorescent light really messes with the color. On the left side, you can see the color of it a little bit more. This would have been a package 4. Top of the doors and the dash are also in jet gray. We also have Audi exclusive carpet and headliner. I think the color split is very interesting. I love the way that the carpet meets the center console, and then the lower dash, and then the bottom of the door cards, plus the armrests are another color. Very interesting. I also love the light steering wheel and shifter. If you're rich, then your hands are probably clean all the time. Next up, we have another Audi build. This one is with classic red. This is paired with magnolia and magnolia contrast stitching. You can see for the floor mats, they decided to go tonal with the leather piping, but then contrast stitching. We also have an Audi exclusive wood. This is oak sepia. I think it's a lovely wood. I personally probably would have spec'd it on the shifter and the steering wheel as well. Here we have a build that was used for a US press car. This is actually a photo taken by Car and Driver. Love cognac interior. I think the white balance is off a little bit. The car doesn't actually look this orange, but we have cognac carpet, we have cognac headliner, and cognac contrast stitching on the tops of the door cards, dash, and steering wheel, and airbag. Love that Tamo Ash wood. Let's go into the back. We see that we also have a cognac rear shelf. This is a very expensive build, probably 30 grand at least. Next, we have another US press car. This one actually was crashed and parted out, and a lot of the bits were on eBay, funny enough. It has piano black wood, which is still standard for the W12, but I think it pairs really well with this classic red, and then the standard black headliner and black carpet. If this wasn't a North American car, I definitely would have sprung for the exclusive seat belts. Here we have a car that was used for one of the auto shows, I think the LA Auto Show, I don't remember, and then sold, and this was for sale actually recently. I think it's a stunning interior. Again, I love night blue. I also like the inlay chosen. This is a standard inlay, the pearl beige fine grain. It pairs really well with this interior, and it makes it look like an exclusive wood, even though that was actually standard. Little touches like the center section and the diamond quilting plus the piping on the floor mats really kind of elevates the interior. This would be a pretty expensive build here. I believe that the carpet was also night blue. Next up, another night blue interior, but this is paired with what I believe is sand beige in a very interesting way, and then throwing in there the Tamo Ash wood. It's very interesting. I don't know if I'd necessarily spec this myself, but I think it's really tasteful. I love the way the top of the center console kind of meets the lower dash plus the instrument hood, and the color split on the door armrests and inserts. It gives this kind of band of sand beige that runs around the car. They went with some of the plastics in sand beige as well, so the steering column hood and some of the switch gear on the dash. And just to break up some of that night blue, they went with contrast stitching on the diamond quilting, the floor mats, and the piping on the seats and headrest. Next up, we have another use of the night blue. This is paired with a stand-up platinum interior. So we have standard carpet, standard armrests, door cards, and much of the center tunnel, but then we put night blue on the top, and then some contrasted night blue with platinum bolster sections and center section. Right next to that, we have something that looks very similar, but is actually different, is night blue with magnolia. We have magnolia headliner, and then door card inserts, seat belts, top of the console. It's interesting the different combinations that you can have with color split for the console and how it changes the mood of the car, whether it's dark and you have this nice weighted center console, or you kind of lighten it up with a lighter console. This one really shows the shape of the console. Not sure if I would spec it like this, but it looks nice. It looks maybe a little busy to my eyes. The contrast is everywhere. It's contrasted on the headrest and perimeter of the seats and the door cards and the diamond quilting and the center section. It's kind of a lot, but it definitely looks custom. Here's toned down a little bit with magnolia and night blue, very popular combination, and a little bit lighter wood. This is again a little bit
pared down and a little bit more tasteful, I'd say. Again, I don't know if that magnolia top of the center console really works for me. Here's another interesting dark light color split. Again, it looks custom, but I don't think it looks factory in a good way. Piano black veneer really helps it. Black headliner, black carpet. But the diamond quilting with that perimeter of the seat, I really don't think works. Here's just a center section of the seat. This looks a little bit more of what might be spec standard, and in fact, A6s and A7s, maybe S6 and S7, you could get packages where just these little center sections of the seat were a contrasted color with the door card insert. I've never really liked this. I think it's kind of a weak attempt at doing a color split. A two-tone seat is really touchy for me, and I don't think this really works. It looks nice. Like I said before, I really like night blue, and I like it with either alabaster or magnolia, especially the contrast stitching. It looks nice, but the center section with just the door card insert doesn't really do it. This is one of the nicest looking customer spec'd exclusive builds I've seen. I would love to have this car. I don't think that it would be my number one choice, but if I found a car spec'd like this, I would snatch it up. Again, we have 3 colors chosen. I believe that is powder for the dash, and then night blue for the center console, and then the lower section I believe is alabaster. It might be just platinum gray, but I'm pretty sure it's alabaster. I love the Tamo Ash wood. I think it pairs really, really well with these muted color tones. This whole palette is just a symphony of calmness. I love it. I think it looks great. I love the contrast and the weight that it brings to the center tunnel and the door card inserts and armrests on the doors. It's the only car that I've ever seen spec'd like this. It was really interesting. I commend them for thinking outside the box and doing something that works really well. Here we're moving a little bit more toward the browns. This again is sand beige. We have sand beige contrast everywhere, sand beige headliner, sand beige door card inserts with piano black wood. It's sedate. They've got personal touches everywhere. I think it looks nice. Again, I wouldn't select it, but it looks nice. Here we have a US car that was crashed. We've got lighter lower dash, darker upper dash, lighter headliner, and then they did a color split for the upper and lower door card where the center section and the armrests are the lighter color. I think it's very interesting. The knee pad is night blue while the rest of the console is magnolia. Yet again, another night blue interior. This one is pretty sedate. I love the usage of night blue for the center section of the door card. I think that looks beautiful with that little Audi exclusive badge, and then just a touch of contrast stitching just on the armrest. The upper and the lower stitching is tone on tone. Looks great. This one is one of very few that has Alcantara door card inserts when selecting the Audi exclusive interior. I've always admired having leather on that door card, which is odd because the A8 has always had that touch of Alcantara there, whereas the lesser A models has always had leather there. For whatever reason, a lot of people tend to agree with me because in general, these Audi exclusive builds always have leather for the door card inserts, but here we have an actual Audi exclusive Alcantara spec. Here's another brown black split. This again feels a little loud to me, a little bit garish, but you know, definitely looks custom. We've got exclusive seatbelts and diamond stitching, just the inserts on the door cards, and then perimeters of the seats and center section. Another split, brown and black. Not loving this one. Again, it's that color split that I don't like on the seats. This is looking custom, but not really in a tasteful way. I don't think that you would find Audi speccing it like this and putting it in their exclusive showroom. I feel like this would be more at home in like an RS7 or something like that, something with more sporty intentions. It doesn't look luxury at all to me. This one I think does a lot better than some of the earlier ones that we just saw where the perimeter of the seat leather sections were the contrasted color. This is a little bit more muted and looks a little bit more elevated because of that. We have contrast for the door card inserts and the headliner to keep it looking from too dark and heavy in there. I see that we also have wood shifter and then also the color split on the center tunnel. I'm not sure how well this wood goes. It is an exclusive wood. This is Vivona wood bronze. Bonus points for choosing from the exclusive catalog, but I don't think it really goes here. The seats feel kind of sporty, and then you have this like ultra luxe old world kind of wood veneer, and I don't think that matches. Here's a very tonal brown and black color split. I couldn't tell you what color this is. It's not a color I see often. It might be chestnut, but I've never seen a chestnut interior confirmed, so I couldn't tell you exactly for sure. But really interesting color split. If you look at the thigh bolster, the little inner edge, not the plastic bit that extends, but there's a little bit of leather, that's also black. But this is a very unique interior. I've not seen another interior spec'd with that color paired with the black. Next up, this one's very interesting. I love this saddle color. I think it looks really well. It was used on the D3 as well, and I've seen a few monochromatic interiors with it, and it just looks the business. It looks so expensive. Here, they kind of toned it down by adding black bolsters and seat bottoms and stuff. I think it looks okay. I wouldn't spec it like this, but it definitely looks custom. Next up, we have saddle again, but we're pairing it with magnolia. This is interesting. It's very loud, maybe a little bit garish. I think the black carpet kind of clashes with it, and certainly the center stripe of saddle through the magnolia isn't great. But I do like how we have controls in the monochrome color, the dash, the headliner. It looks really nice, and of course I love that Tamo ash wood. Here's another color split for the instrument hood. Love it. I believe this is cognac. It's not great white balance on this picture, but I believe it's cognac. Got cognac headliner, and then everything below the dash and the top of the door cards, except for the carpet, is cognac. And then oddly, we have this little touch of crimson red for the piping on the seats and the center section. It's interesting. This is on an S8, so it does kind of give more toward the sporting intentions, and so I think it works like that. But I think I certainly would have skipped the red. Here we have full-on old world spec, and I love it. We have an Audi exclusive green color for the exterior, and then we have green carpet, green dash, and green top of the door cards. And then anywhere we have contrasting, it's that Iceland green. Love the green steering wheel, love the green steering wheel hood, floor mats. This is just the classic green and tan interior, isn't it? Then we have exclusive wood. I can't quite tell if this is Vivona wood bronze or Madrone wood gold, but it's definitely exclusive. Love this build. I think it's super tasteful, and once again, just completely classic green and tan. Here's another green and tan. This time we're using Havana brown. Love it. I love the little bit more muted green on the paint. Then we have custom throw pillows back there that are in matching leather. Bonus points there. Madrone wood gold inlays, exclusive headliner, exclusive carpet. I love a monochrome interior. I would have even done the dash and the top of the door cards in that same Havana brown. I think it would look really nice. But most exclusive builds do have some sort of contrasted color. Usually it's darker for the dash. Another Havana interior. This time we do not have exclusive seat belts, and we have black for the top of the dash and the door cards. And we can compare that here to an almost completely monochrome interior. Love this. This looks fantastic to me. I think I might go with something a little bit richer and saturating color like a cognac, or even that saddle color that I love. But this is definitely upscale. It's not something that you're going to find in a lower level car. I love how the interior lines are allowed to speak for themselves with this lighter color. A lot of the design and shape gets lost with darker colors. Little pops of aluminum everywhere. I might have gone for a different wood, but I know that bringing this little bit of gloss and darkness does sort of break up the interior. But this looks so clean and peaceful and crisp to me. I love their restraint of not doing contrast piping on the seats or the floor mats or anything. Here we have a Havana, I think, might be cognac, but I think it's Havana with a little bit more contrast. We've got darker headliner and then dark floor mats, but I love the brown steering wheel and shifter. Here's another light colored interior, but this is with that standard gold inlay. It's nice. It's not for me, but interesting. I like it. Here we have an almost full magnolia interior, and then it looks like that's Iceland green. You'll see that little kind of almost cup-shaped thing below the armrest. That is something I talk about in another video. It's called a cell phone holder. Audi designed that to put your cell phone in while you're riding in the back seat. This is the only picture that I've seen where that isn't wrapped in black leather. I didn't know that that could be specified with Audi exclusive, but it's wrapped in leather, and that little top is solid aluminum, and then the inside is Alcantara. So that little cup has a bunch of little Audi exclusive touches, Audi exclusive Alcantara interior, leather wrapped exterior, and then contrast stitching. insane. I love that. That's the only reason I put that picture in there. This one is Havana with Tamo Ash and then black leather. Love it. This was for sale a while ago. I wanted to buy this interior, but it got sold out from underneath me. Bummer. This is a bold interior using some brown. I believe this is chestnut, and then I think alabaster. Nice. It looks crisp, clean, definitely looks custom. This is speaking my language here, big time. This is cognac, almost monochrome interior. Again, I would have done monochrome for the dash as well. I think that it's super rare that you get a really light monochrome dash. You'll get a standard color that's brown, a beige, and then the dash will be brown, but that's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about the dash being a light color. You only see that in Bentleys or Aston Martins or that kind of thing. So I love seeing a light colored dash. This does look like it has Audi exclusive leather pack 4 where that dash is Iceland green, it looks like. Great colored interior. Love this exclusive wood. Love that they put wood on the handle. And then also an exclusive carpet and floor mat. Next, we have another saddle build, and then they paired with chestnut and this nice matte wood and black. This is very subtle kind of color shift between the palettes, and I think it's done tastefully. It doesn't necessarily feel very custom or exclusive build like. I feel like I could see Audi putting this in the normal color catalog, but if this is what you're looking for and you spec this, there's going to be no other A8 like it. This is another shot of that cell phone holder. This is what they come standard, so it's just black Alcantara interior and black leather with black stitching. This is my car actually. This is cognac inserts on the doors and then cognac contrast stitching, but just another view of what that cell phone holder looks like as standard. This one actually started with a beige base, whereas 99% of them start with a black base. So we have standard beige for the lower dash and the door cards and the carpet, but then we added exclusive touches to the seats and the contrast stitching. I think it's a little busy with the way that they decided to do the color splits. There's a lot of color splits with the armrests and the headrests and the perimeter of the seats. But again, once again, definitely looks custom. I do not like these dark floor mats. I think they stick out like a sore thumb. I know you want to keep it clean, but I don't like it. I'm not feeling it. This one's interesting. We have cognac seat belts and center console and carpet mixed with sand beige seats and then a light headliner that looks like almost magnolia. So this is a lot of colors going on. They're similar but contrasted enough where you can tell that we've got this sort of monochrome mixed palette going on. This here is what you'd call a green car. So we have Audi exclusive green exterior and then an Audi exclusive full green interior. The only thing that is not green on this car is the headliner. It looks like it's a magnolia headliner. Everything else is Iceland green. Dash, carpet, seat belts, floor mats. Love it. Super cool. This is grandpa spec for sure. Now we're moving into the reds. I like this car. This is an S8, very sporty. Throw some red on there, but I love that they just were very restrained with it. I think it's super cool to have this really dark palette and then you've just got the steering wheel in classic red. It really kind of lends to what's important in the car, and that's the driving. Here we have, I think, cloudy gray for the dash and the steering wheel and the shifter. I think that looks awesome, looks super good paired with classic red. I think classic red looks really good on this car. I said it before. And then we've got classic red seat belts, and then that cloudy gray shows up in the center of the seats, piping and contrast stitching. Good looking car. Here's crimson red. So this is a great picture of it, and I think it's done very tastefully. I think that it needs to be done either a lot or not at all. So for this, I think that's done well because they've done piano black upper inlay and lower inlay, plus black carpet, black headliner, black dash, and really no contrast on the red. We've got piping and that's it. I think that's what helps sell it for me. As we move on, we have very out of place crimson red on the center section of the seat and then red piping. This is odd. I don't think this really fits the character of the car at all. And here's a close-up of what that looks like. It's just a contrast that doesn't pair well together, I don't think. Again, here we have crimson red. That black really messes it up for me on that center section plus the piping. What's even worse is if you take a beige interior of a car. So this is a beige base and they did crimson red. So we went with It looks a little bit yellow, so that'd be magnolia, not alabaster, on the headliner, and then the center section of the seats, and then the piping. It's loud, it clashes, it doesn't look luxurious. It looks custom, but not in a tasteful way. Coming back into classic red though, this is a very similar interior. We even have that light carpet, but this looks so much more regal and something that someone with taste might actually spec in their car. It's interesting that we've got the wooden steering wheel with the red. I think it's interesting. It's a little bit of a juxtaposition, but I like it. Then we've got a little bit of classic red, just a touch on the bolsters and the center section. I don't think I have any other pictures of this car, so I don't know where else they used it, but I think this is okay. That classic red is just a nice muted red, so you can kind of use it here and there sparingly or use a bunch of it, but that crimson red just really fights for attention, and I don't really like most of the cars that's been used unless you really go for it. No contrast, just tons of crimson red. On that theme of light carpet, we have another beige interior. Like I said, you have to spec your car with a standard interior, and then that will determine anything that you don't have selected with from the Audi exclusive palette. That will just stay whatever the standard color is. So here they've done a beige interior, but then they've thrown Leather Pack 3 on top of it and chose some colors that really clash with the standard colors from that beige interior. This carpet does not go with these floor mats and these lower plastics. Another light carpet, they were brave enough to go with the light colored floor mat, but I believe this was actually exclusive carpet that looks like magnolia. I don't think I would have gone contrast for the attachment hardware or the piping in this case. I also don't like the color split for the center section. I think it looks odd. That's not really a flattering shape, that kind of rounded shape to the seat. I actually don't really like the leather panel structure of the D4 seats nearly as much as the D3 seats. I think the D3 seats look much cooler and technical, and these look a little bit, if you've seen the Bentley Mulsanne, it's just a little bit old manish, a little bit outdated. And by doing a color split like this, you're just emphasizing that. This is one of very, very, very few pictures I've ever seen with Alcantara on the seats. This is a cool, and again, this is an S8, so we're talking sporty intentions, not really luxury. So this loud and brash and contrasted color everywhere, it kind of works. But we do have that Alcantara section in the center, which is cool. And then we have the bottom of the instrument hood, super cool. And then little touches. Look at that knee bolster pad. We just have that little stripe done in contrast color. It's cool. It's a cool little selection. Again, this is a great example of showing how color split can happen anywhere. Any single panel can be any color you wanted it to be. Here's another Alcantara insert. This one has just the inserts plus the door panel. Looks nice, looks cozy, looks warm. Another little shot of the rest of the interior. I like the split of the center console being light and then the entire upper and lower dash being dark. Audi designed this dash to look like it's floating, and by having a contrast color from the console, it kind of sells that idea. And because I haven't posted any close-ups, this is to show that you could get contrast stitching on the two sections of the upper dash. And if you had heads-up display, the stitching on the heads-up display leather can also be contrast. Here's an example of piano black upper and lower inlay. I like this. I think it was very cool. If I had two D4s, I would want one of them to have this setup. In the US, it was almost completely standard to have the aluminum look package for all the buttons, but in Europe, a lot of the cars still had the black plastic buttons, which blends in a little bit better if you do have that piano black lower inlay. Here's another image of it. Full black interior. It looks great. And here's a couple examples of doing the Audi exclusive just to get leather inserts in the door. I'm not really a fan of the Alcantara insert because they use charcoal gray, and so you've got soul, I think they use soul black, so it's like ever so slightly bluish black leather in the interior, but then you have this gray Alcantara, and then it just ends up looking messy on the door card. So I love when I see an interior where they've just spec'd Audi exclusive only so they could get tone on tone leather for the door card insert. My D3 interior is actually like that, where you can see the leather door card inserts replaces the Alcantara, and then you've got just some light contrast stitching. I think that's a really tasteful way of just kind of putting your fingerprint on something that people wouldn't really notice, but it's a nice attention to detail. Here's a couple examples of contrast seat belts with nothing else. So they've just spec'd seat belts. It'd be neat to see that in North America, but I'm sure for crash testing and that kind of thing, they opted not to spend the money to send it here. Then we've got a couple interesting choices with steering wheel. So we've got that really weird color split for the center section. Don't love it. But then for the steering wheel, we've got a dark rim. That's an Audi exclusive color. That's looks like night blue right there with Havana airbag cover. Interesting. I don't hate it. I don't love it. It definitely looks custom. Then we have this color split where it's just the top of the steering wheel. Again, don't hate it, but I would not spec that for myself. The rest of the car looks nice. I think it's interesting how we have the armrests and the doors kind of floating, and then we have the perimeter of the seat, but interesting build on the interior. Again, looks custom. You would never see a manufacturer offering a package that looked like that. That's definitely customer ordered. And here's a handful of wood steering wheels. I mentioned that I didn't care for these at first, but they've really grown on me. I have an Audi exclusive upper inlay in my car, and it took me a long time to find a steering wheel with my Audi exclusive inlay, but I did, and I loved it ever since I installed it. I also have the Audi exclusive inlay, matching inlay shift handle and grab handles for the headliner. Here is the steering wheel in piano black. Looks fantastic. I love the piano black upper and lower inlay on this. Just touches of alabaster. This is a crispy, clean interior. I love the light steering wheel. You've got to have clean hands to drive this car if you want it looking nice. Here is a terrible render from Audi. Looks awful, but you can see great use of the Audi exclusive palette here to set it apart, make it look different without being loud and in your face. Here are the grab handles. Again, really hard to find pictures of this. So here's one with piano black. I love that there's little aluminum bits on the side. These are mine before refinishing them in black to match my headliner and polishing the scratches out of the wood. Shift handle. This is in Vivona wood bronze. Looks beautiful. Not my cup of tea really, but looks nice. And now I'm going to show you a couple examples of really bad interiors. Here's that crimson red matched with the way that I hate color splits on the seats. This is a terrible interior. I know some people will love this. This looks awful, especially on a W12. This is nothing to do with the character of the car. I don't think crimson red is a nice color, and as it wears, you know, the leather wears, it gets shinier. A shiny, bright red, this just looks cheap and fake and not my cup of tea. Here is classic red, which I love, utterly ruined by using that pearl beige inlay. I don't really know what this person was thinking. We've got yellow and red on this interior. I hate it. My eyes hurt. And because I don't want to end on a bad note, here is my interior. We've got cognac paired with soul black. The center console is nicely weighted to the car using that cognac. Brings a little bit of visual interest to the center of the car, and then just a bit of contrast with the center section of the door cards. And we've got contrast stitching throughout the interior on the door cards and the armrests and the steering wheel airbag cover. It's nice. I like it. Unfortunately, I didn't get to spec my car brand new, but I've been able to put something together that may have been similar to something I would have spec'd. So I can't talk about the Audi exclusive program without talking about a program that mirrors some of the exclusive packages available on the D2 and D3, where Audi selected colors from the exclusive program and then offered it as a special package. This principle lived on in the D4 and became called the Audi Design Selection. I had first assumed that these color palettes were selected from the exclusive catalog, but as I dove deeper, I found that these leathers, Alcantaras, and woods were extended once again from the standard and exclusive offerings. As far as I know, design selection packages could not be customized in any way. However, I did oddly find one or two examples in the wild with some design selection colors mismatched with other veneers or leathers. Maybe these were special ordered, or maybe modified after the fact, or maybe dealer modified, I don't know. North America saw a few design selection colors. Most common was Baleo Brown, next up Eris Red, and finally Vermont Brown, which I find to be very lovely. The Alcantara inserts were subtly changed from graphite to onyx, giving a more cohesive look to the door cards and helping the contrasted seat color pop. In Europe, there was one more design selection interior called Platinum Gray, which is a very peaceful and austere monochromatic palette. I love it. I think I would be happy with the car with this, but I don't think that it would have fared well in North America. All of these design selection palettes were Leather Pack 4. Alongside the design selection in Europe, there were two Audi exclusive ready-made packages. Why both the design selection and these Audi exclusive packages were offered, I don't know. But they were the Audi exclusive design package Cognac Brown and Black and Audi exclusive design package Black and Crimson Red. In the UK, I believe these were called Edition 21. These were both Leather Pack 1, but could be extended beyond that. Most of them you find for sale are just Leather Pack 1. And finally, again in Europe, there was yet another tier of bespoke exclusivity. This was available in a limited run of 50 examples and cost an invigorating 30,000 euro back about 10 years ago and required an additional 15,000 euro of supporting options. It was called the Audi Exclusive Concept. It was available on the facelift W12 only and included Poltronafrau leather in Agatha Cognac main hide in granite gray secondary hide, contrast stitching throughout, tonal diamond quilting, Cognac seatbelt webbing, jet gray carpet and floor mats with Agatha Cognac piping, snow white Alcantara headliner, and exquisite olive ash fine natural wood inlays. The dorsal stated Audi Exclusive Concept and 1 of 50 designation. I believe this to be the second most expensive option ever fitted to an Audi, aside from the 54,000 euro Q7 exclusive edition package, which required an additional 14,000 euro worth of options. I'll flash a picture of that here, but it was insane. It had custom wood inlays, even the cargo area was wrapped in silk nappa leather, insane. Plus a V12 TDI, which is pretty cool. But anyway, now that we're talking about money, let's dip into pricing. A full special interior build adds a huge premium to the already sizable $140,000 base price of the W12 a decade ago. Exclusive paint did not require a one-time exclusive build fee, but anything on the interior tacked on $1,200 right at the start. All flat, metallic, and pearl paints were $3,900. All matte paints were $6,800. Which is a massive bargain compared to Bentley's $35,000 upcharge for satin paint. The leather packages came with a solid aluminum Audi exclusive embossed badge proudly placed on the door card inserts, and those packages were priced as follows. Package 1, $7,800. Package 2, $10,650. Package 3, $15,600, which also required a $5,500 full leather package upgrade. And then Package 4, $18,450, which also required the full leather package. Audi exclusive floor mats, $600. Floor mats with carpet, $2,700. Audi exclusive headliner, $6,650. Rear shelf, $1,450. Steering wheel, $850. Steering wheel and shifter, $1,100. And Audi exclusive wood inlays, $2,400. And there is where the interior colors end for the US. And before moving on, a quick tally. That's a maximum of $43,350 for a total MSRP over $180,000 before standard options. In Europe, you can also tack on the 1,500 euro exclusive seatbelts, an exclusive steering wheel wood for 980 euros, exclusive shift handle wood, 300 euros, exclusive grab handles for 980 euros, and exclusive wheels, which started at 2,000 euros plus. And that'll do it for part 1. In part 2, I'm going to talk about the individual options that you can buy that don't have anything to do with color palette off of the Audi exclusive program. There's been numerous really insane options, and I'll dip into those just briefly, but I've got a selection of the ones from my D4 W12 here to show you in person. But anyway, that's it for part 1. Stick around for part 2.
And join the exclusive W12 Owners Club for access to more DIY write-ups, frequently asked questions, and super in-depth info for VW, Audi, and Bentley W12 models. Then visit the W12 OC Club shop for kit to show off Volkswagen Auto Group's rarest power plant at W12ownersclub.com.